Oh man. Hey, welcome back to the Undisputed GOAT podcast, man. Welcome once again. And you know what, man? Uh I'm hoping, uh hoping BRF that they enjoyed our news special.
I've been officially AI'd, people. I have made it. I have made it in life. I've been AI'd. I'm official now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm official.
Oh man, that was the most funniest thing I have ever witnessed to or been privy to. That was amazing. That was amazing. So if anybody want to see AIBRF, man, y'all let us know. We can hook y'all up with some more tapes, man. But in the meantime,
Long ass goatee and all. It's all there. Like nothing changed.
yeah, nothing changed at all. That was amazing. But on that note, man, welcome back, man. It's been a long break, man, but we're back at it, man. Welcome once again to the Undisputed GOAT podcast live from Wisconsin and from the great state of Georgia. How y'all doing, man? How was Thanksgiving, man?
It was filling. It was. I mean, I ate good. Spent time with the family. Restful. I think this is probably the most rested I've been probably since summer when I went to Florida. So I had I. It's funny though because we were kind of getting stuff around our house clean, only to have to go and only to have to leave and visit another. Just basically, had cousins like where my in Rutledge. They're like, oh no, we're gonna have here. I'm like, man, we didn't did all this cleaning for nothing. But anyways, it was fun. I had a real good Thanksgiving.
Good, good. What about you? What about you, Flash?
Yeah, it's good. I'd say it was relaxing and productive. Smoked a turkey at home and turned out really well. And this is good. Much needed 4 day break. Even though, oh boy, sorry. Even though I had to go into work for a little bit on Thanksgiving Day, but that's okay.
Yes, indeed, man. Hey, man, and by the way, that damn turkey looked perfect, man. How juicy was that damn thing?
It was good.
That damn thing did look. It looked good. It looked
Great.
amazing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, that was about 6 hours in the smoker. So it took.
Six
But it was it
hours?
was yes, sir.
Damn.
It
That's
was
the
good.
best meat right there.
Yeah, it is.
It's good, but yeah, I don't have the patience to smoke meat myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna
It's not
say,
bad. It's not. It's not really the patience that you got to have. It's more of like it's more the annoying thing of going to check it on every hour to make sure there's enough water and everything, and then and the pellets or the chips or whatever you're using to smoke it haven't run out yet. It's that gets annoying. But once you do it a couple times and then you finally make something and you taste it, oh my god, it's so worth it.
The taste is worth it because like my dad mainly does chicken and ribs. Every so often, like he will do like burgers in it and whatnot. I mean, the meat is best as far as the taste and just the tenderness and everything. Smoking it, I don't think nothing beats it.
let me see, let me see is it tender. Let me see is it tender.
Hey, no, hey, pure tendernism, pure tendernism, pure tendernism.
The
That's all
tender,
it is.
the tender doesn't. Let's see if
Tendernism. Destination. Destination. One in the nation.
let's see if it's tender. Oh man, so man, it's good to be back here, man. I'm glad all of y'all are here. Shout out to the one and only Sports PSP, now at a staggering 150,000 followers. Hell of a job, man. And thank you for all the time and support that you dedicate to our podcast as well. And look, I will say something without saying it. Thank you for them alley oops that you sent on through here, man. We really appreciate that. So
I'm telling you, I'm working off the latest alley oop right now. Thank you for the mic, sir.
yeah, thank you for all them alley oops that you sent us, man. So hey, like I always say, wouldn't be an Undisputed GOAT podcast without Sports PSP podcast. You know, that's kind of like it wouldn't be no kind of like Death Row and Aftermath. You know what I'm saying? So, but look, I know we had a script going on, but let's go off that motherfucker. Yeah, fuck the script. Uh, what do y'all think about Survivor Series, bro? I think
Flash,
I
Flash,
think
you
it
were
was
talking
mid
about it
as
first.
hell. I thought it was mid as hell.
I don't think the show was as I don't think the show was as bad as people are making it seem, but Flash was really kind of delving into it before we went on the air. So I kind of want to hear what he got to say.
I think it was a mess show. I think it had some good moments. I think Cena putting over the Judgment Day as much as people are complaining about it, but I mean in that span he put over basically everybody. Dom, Liv. I know he kind of gave it to JD and to Finn, but still, like to be in that kind of match with Cena is, that's pretty. That's pretty big time. And so, and I love the swerve of Liv. Everybody was complaining that Liv should have turned babyface, and I'm like, no, she's the best heel. Honestly, I would. This is going to be like a little controversial. She is the best thing she is the best draw on television that they have, or one of the best besides Roman right now. Before she hurt her shoulder, she was on fire for like over a half a year. And you keep her heel and you keep her with Dom because there's more story to tell there. Don't just end it right now. There's way more story to tell with that. So, and she's a way better heel than a babyface, anyways. She is going to get cheered as a heel, anyways. So you keep her as a heel and you keep her with Dom to get the heat. I like that moment. I thought the women's. I honestly think we need to go away from war games for a while. I think we're at the point where it's forced. Like now we're just like there's no story behind it really. We're just kind of forcing things. And I think we need a little bit of a change up where we need to go back to the 5-man elimination, old school. Like just kind of change it up right now. I think the War Games thing is a little played out. I think the women's War Games was kind of underwhelming for all the star power in it. I think it had moments that made it look good, but again, like fuck, my Patriots are fucking awesome again, and it's fucking great. Anyways, sorry. Champ, your mic is muted.
Man, the hell with them Patriots. Look at Liv, damn it.
Oh, that too. The I gotta turn that on. And then I think the men's was okay. I think we all know who the masked man guy is now at this point. Like we all know it's Austin Theory, which is fine. I think that's okay. I'm not upset about it. And to go, we were talking a little bit before we went on air about, so on Monday Night Raw tonight, LA Knight beat Jey Uso to go further into the Cena tournament, where Cena's gonna, obviously it's gonna be LA Knight versus Gunther now. I am not shocked. I think there's two theories right now on why Jay won. BRF was a little shocked by it. I think one is there's a huge backing from. This is the point that I didn't really get to before we went on air. I think if you set up everybody wants LA Knight to get his shine. And I think if you put him in a match against Gunther and he loses to Gunther, it elevates Gunther as a heel so much more. Now, whether that's good heat or not, I don't know. But also at the same time, though, I think Jey Uso is getting played out. No matter how much everybody does the yeet thing, I think the yeet thing is fun. I think it's a thing, but I think his in-ring is terrible. I mean, let's just be honest. It's not that good. It's really, really sloppy. His mic skills have gotten worse, in my opinion. And I was not on the hating on Jey Uso bandwagon. I was actually on it, and now I'm off of it. I think he's boring. He has no depth to his character unless he's tied to Roman, and I think that's a problem. And he's and baby faces at this point are really hard to keep sustained, especially if they win a title. Everybody turns on the baby face right away. So I don't know. It's funny. I watched the WWE now and it just feels kind of soulless right now. Like it doesn't have a good direction, and I'm not sure why. What are your thoughts, BRF?
Well, the reason, I mean, this is how I feel. I feel like Gunther's going to win this tournament no matter what they do. I just felt like there was something there with Jay in particular. Jay eliminating John Cena from the Royal Rumble to win it. I thought there was a little something there that they could have worked with.
That's a good point.
Now don't get me wrong though. I think they went LA Knight because I think now is one of those moments where it's like fans keep saying, "Okay, when are we going to strike with him? When are we going to strike with him?" Because I find it crazy how, as long as he's been around and hasn't really gotten that shot, the fact that he's still as over as he is, and the fact that the iron is still as hot as it is, I think now is probably a better time than like never to at least strike it and just see what you have, like to kind of get him into the main event scene, like let it lead to him, like a final four showing at the Royal Rumble in 26, or like hell, even possibly being the last two, in the elimination chamber for that matter. Like it needs to start something. Like it needs to do something. And I think we've been kind of waiting long enough, and I think it's time to really do it, and it's time to really get going with it. Um, like as far as the Survivor Series, it was all right. I mean, it wasn't like there were moments. Like I don't care what anybody says. Hey, Io Sky to me is one of the five best wrestlers in the world, male or female. Argue with your mama. I'm dying on that hill. Io Sky is one of the five best wrestlers in the world, male or female. She's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, that spot. I mean, and she is basically taking War Games and she's almost made it like her match. Since his reinception into the WWE, she's been in every single one, and that goes back to the NXT days. She's been in almost every single one, and
Yeah.
it's crazy to even think about it. And now she's making like the high spot. She's making it like her moment, and especially with the trash can. I mean, doing a front flip senton off the top of that cage in a trash can was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
The only
And
problem is I don't want her to turn into Kofi Kingston. I don't want her to turn into just like she's that, because remember Kofi became the guy that was known for the Royal Rumble spot every year, and I don't want her. She's better than that, and I'm not even disparaging Kofi. I just don't want her to become like basically a caricature of herself. If you don't know.
I feel you, but I think the difference between with what EO does with War Games and what Kofi does with the Royal is at least Kofi hasn't had like. It'd be one thing if Kofi had like a even with all those spots, he was never the Iron. If he was at least the Iron Man in at least one or maybe two of those Royal Rumbles, we would call him more than just the Royal Rumble spot guy. At least with
Yeah,
EO, at least with EO and the War Games, she is at least on the winning side of these, and she's shown that she's more than those spots. Like she is like. I mean, when you look at how she wrestles in these War Games matches, she's usually one of the most dangerous competitors in these matches in terms of her innovation with her offense and just how she likes to wrestle. Is like that spot where Rhea had Kyrie in the prison lock, and she puts the trash can on top of Kyrie's head, and she's running back and forth, basically doing almost like the Braun Breaker spot, and then turned it into a drop kick, just basically denting the trash can in her head. Is like I like what EO does more with the War Games because, like I said, she has more to carry off of that with it because I mean she's been winning, but at the same time it's like we're partly waiting for the spot, but at the same time, no, she's at least telling the story in the War Games match before she gets there. So I'm not really like I'm like I said, I'm not mad really at the War Games wise. Now the show as a whole, I think with the women's match, it underwhelmed having the build up that it had because the pre match build up there was like stories galore. I mean, there were stories and there was rivalries galore. I mean, that made the two teams coming together made it all make sense. Like
Yeah,
the rivalry with AJ and Becky, and then you had the Kabuki Warriors basically going at pretty much all the tag teams. And then you see Nia bringing Lash in after the rivalry they had in NXT. And then Nia recognizing Lash as being one of the next big things. And shout out to the WWE for treating Lash Legend like a big deal. She got the last entrance. That just tells you what they see in her. She got the last entrance of the War Games match. That's all you need to know as far as what they see in Lash Legend, as far as what she's going to be in the future. But yeah, and I'm with you too. Yeah, that's Austin Theory. That mask guy is Austin Theory. I mean, it is. I do like the story that they told with him doing him doing Seth Rollins signature moves. I kind of like that because even though everybody kind of knows, people are kind of feeling it as Austin Theory. There does leave a little hint of imagination there, but I mean, at the same time, Seth Rollins legit had shoulder surgery. He's out. He's hoping he can be back before WrestleMania. That's like best case scenario for him. Like he legit had shoulder surgery. But I mean, if anything, they're gonna wing it and they're gonna make it work. So that does I did. Even though it was a weird ending, I don't mind a cliffhanger every once in a while to kind of see how they're gonna do and where they're gonna take it. But yeah, like I think Survivor Series as a whole was like, yeah, it was a mid
I
to
just think
okay show.
I think with all the storylines they had with the women, I think it just felt like I think I think AJ brings so much to this current roster right now. I did I actually thought that before Liv got in, that I thought Liv was the most interesting thing they had in the women's division by far. I think Rhea was getting and people are gonna and people can completely murder me all they want. I think Rhea Ripley was getting stale. I think she needed to get away from the title, which is what they've kind of tried to do. I think she was kind of going through a Charlotte problem where she was only connected to the title and Dom, and that was it. And they've gotten her away from it. I don't think where she needs to be when it comes to she's still over. It's not like she's not over. I just think she's like I think what the WWE has wanted. I think people complain about it. What they've done with Charlotte has been something amazing. What Alexa Bliss has been able to do with Charlotte when she had no personality whatsoever and nothing to her at all, and now she's um, like really over as a baby face, like in a good way, not in like a cheesy cheap J way. She's over as a baby face. She's got depth to her. She's like it's great to see. I just feel there's something, and maybe this is the TKO feeling overall when it comes to this company right now, that it just feels soulless. Like I watch it and I just go, why am I not drawn to this product right now? And I think that's I think that's part of the issue. This is another reason why I think them putting LA Knight in the title picture, which is what I think they should. It they got to get away they got to get away from Roman, Cody, CM Punk. Like I think it's getting like that. Like they need some new life in there. I think Punk is good and he's fine with the title, but I think we need to, as much as I love Roman, I think Roman. Now don't get me wrong, he's earned the right to get there, but like now he's coming out and just doing 6 Superman punches, and it's like, dude, you need to do something. Like I need like this. It's I don't know. Something just feels. Again, I thought there were good moments. I just feel that there's such a better product here, and I don't know why we're not seeing it. Like there's so much more they could do, and I'm not one of those like I'm usually not one of those complainers, but I'm at the point right now where it's just like something's wrong. I don't know what it is.
Do you think that there's a lot of validity to what Seth Rollins is saying, where a lot of the guys are just in it for the money at this point? It's just, and we've gotten so far away from kayfabe where it's like that's the reason why wrestling has no soul anymore. And when it comes to war games, and I hate to sound like that guy, but I'm just gonna be real. When it comes to war games, this is kind of like a tag team hell in a cell. It's like tag team hells in a cell. This is where we come as a team in order to take out our enemies before it all ends again at Armageddon. And then we start this process all over again in Royal Rumble. That's from my experience. It's just like, you build up through the summer and then you go through that whole building process. And then you get to Survivor Series, whether it's the traditional Survivor Series or War Games now. You get to the Survivor Series. And then that is where, as a team, we end our enemies together. And then as we separate, we handle them as a team first, and then individually at Armageddon, depending on if that's the pay-per-view. But that's just how I feel. It's not that super climactic build-up that you see from, let's say, SummerSlam all the way up to the Survivor Series. You don't see that process takes place. You don't see that slow build where it's just like, okay, I wonder who's going to be the third person, the next person, the next person. It's all just given to you at once. It's like a poker game ending a little bit. It's kind of like the poker game and somebody go all in on the first hand. That's how it
Yeah.
feels. It's kind of they going all in on the first hand. Like, damn, you're not going to even attempt to bluff. It's like, and
I
that's what I feel it's missing.
I think I think the lack of house shows has really shown. We've talked about this in the NFL with the lack of
Preseason.
with the lack of development with quarterbacks. When you take away practice time, you take away preseason games. As much as you want to make the sport safer, it actually really doesn't do that. You make a poor product, and I think that's part of it. I think the in ring work has gotten really lazy. It's all telegraphed. As much as I think Bret Hart is a fucking blowhard and he just does nothing but complain, he is right about one thing. It's just a ballet now. It's just a lot of twisting and turning and everything's telegraphed and you can kind of see it coming there. And there's no real character to matches anymore. And it's a really rare occurrence when there's a real good story told. And it's just sad because they have probably the most talent they've ever had, ever.
Top to bottom, absolutely.
Top to bottom as a roster. And so I'm just really confused on why we've gotten lazy. And the funny thing is we talk about making it safer. We have more injuries now than I feel like we ever have in the WWE. And look, we have less house shows. Again, it goes to the same thing. If your body's not used to taking all those bumps and crashes, it's not going to be used to it.
Exactly.
So I just think we're in a weird. I don't know. I don't like. I said this to an old friend of mine when Vince sold the WWE to TKO. And I said, this could be a good thing, and this could be a bad thing. And I said, but the reason why it could be a bad thing is now it's not a family run business. Now it's run by a corporation, and it's something. And he always, no, they're leaving. They're leaving Triple H in charge, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, that's great, but the almighty dollar is what makes everything go around. And at some point, the corporation's going to step in and do it their own way. We saw it in WCW. We saw
That's what I was just about to say. ECW.
ECW saw it. We saw it with that. Like it's inevitable, and that's the problem. We've seen it with the CEO of TKO. Talking about I don't give a fuck about the fans and the pricing and everything else. Like, which is I feel like I say this every week on here. Is like these people are just going to continue to do this shit, and at some point people are going to start turning it off. Their numbers when it comes to the seats on Raw and SmackDown are starting to dwindle. as much as they're still raking in money and people are selling out for certain PLEs and stuff like that. But it's starting, and I don't know, man. I want to take my daughter to SummerSlam next year, and I probably will, just because it's a tradition for her and I, and it's just a good thing that I have family in Minnesota, so it won't be as expensive to stay at a hotel. But man, like, I don't know, I'm just really disappointed. I don't like the fact that I don't think. I think the one thing that people are bitching around about right now is the way Cena's retirement tour has gone. I don't think that's his fault, or just like the booking in general. I think The Rock fucked that up. I think The Rock inserted himself in it. I think the idea that was there to do it, and I think that The Rock either got sick, or he, whatever the reason why. Now he can't wrestle anymore because he's lost all that weight. Although there's talk about him wrestling in Saudi Arabia, of course, because never mind. I'm not going to say anything because I'll probably get in trouble for it. But whatever.
Say it. What the hell? What's on your
No,
mind?
it's about all the fucking money. It's about all these fucking Saudis sticking their fucking nose into all of our shit, and everybody fucking bending over for them and selling out like a bunch of bitches. There, I fucking said it. I'm tired of it. All these fucking comedians, Dave Chappelle. I used to love fucking Dave Chappelle, and I still do. I think he's a great fucking comedian. But the one reason why he resonated with everybody else is when he walked away for $50 million because he didn't want to get sold out. And then he went over and bent over and took it for the Saudis. Same thing with Bill Burr and all those other fucking comedians that took the almighty dollar. And here we're seeing it now too. And it's just disgusting. It's gross. It's gross. Again, it's the thing that bothers me the most is that everybody bends over for the almighty dollar when it comes to their principles, and it's disgusting. And I can't stand it. And it's, I mean, there's a whole way deeper discussion into that, whatever. But I've just had enough. I don't. Everything is becoming a soulless product right now, and it's just gross. It's just gross. And on top of it, you have the growth of AI on top of it to make it even more soulless. So, I mean, yeah, I just don't like where everything's going right now. So,
To your point, there's been a lot of widespread rumor about. I'm glad you brought that up. There's a lot of widespread rumors about a lot of Saudi sports. As far as I can't pronounce the name. I'm not going to make a fool out of myself. As far as going into bankruptcy at a certain point, especially on the boxing side, there's been a lot of rumors about that. And look, it's going to be interesting if they get their hands on damn football. It's going to be interesting.
I'll be fucking irate.
It's going to be interesting if they get their hands on American sports. Yeah.
Newsflash, it's coming.
Yeah.
Newsflash. People, well, I mean, I don't like it, but whether we like it or not, I mean, we might as well prepare.
There will be a Saudi owner of a major sports franchise at some point.
Well,
and I'm talking about the big three.
It's Mr. Khan. Is he Middle Eastern?
Yeah, but I wouldn't count him as a Saudi though. That's more of
He's
I think his Khan is I don't want to sound like an ignorant asshole, but that's an everyday thing where I sound like one of those. So whatever. Let's see, owner of Jaguars.
Yeah, I thought he was Saudi Arabian. I thought Mr. Khan was Saudi Arabian.
Shahid Khan. Yeah, maybe you're right. Let's see.
Yeah, because he on the Jaguars right now. Because now, granted, they're a piece of shit franchise. I hate to say that, but they are. But
so he's Pakistani American.
Okay, so he's American. So okay.
So he was. Well, he's got citizenship in both. He was born in Pakistan. He moved to the United States in 1967, so he's been here a while.
Okay,
it's not. Yeah, he's been here a while. I'm talking, but when I say the Saudis, I mean the Saudi crown prince. I mean the Saudi princes that are gonna at some point, and they've already kind of.
You know who I could see, and I hate to interrupt. You know who I could see selling the team to one of the Saudi Arabian. I could see Jerry Jones doing that. Remember, he's good. No. Hear me out. Remember, he's good friends with Prince Bandar.
Yeah, but that's a family. That's a family business. I think he passes that to his son. I can't see him.
I think he passes that to his son, but I think his son eventually, like the buses did,
That could
I
maybe
really
his
think that
son
they
does
could
it,
end
but
up
I don't
selling to
think
Prince
Jerry does.
Bandar.
I don't think Jerry does. I don't think there's any way. As much as we want to give Jerry Jones like flack and stuff like, honestly, if you really think about it, of the owners, he's actually one of the better owners in the league. He paid for that stadium himself. He didn't bust on the taxpayers to do it. Like, for the most part, he puts out a quality product all the time. He's one of the best stadiums in the whole planet. Like, he wants to win. He cares. I have a hot take right now, or later on when we get to the NFL part of this. So
Yeah.
I don't know if no old NFL owner like Jerry Jones or the Mars or
Bud Adams.
or Bud at like any of those owners aren't going to sell to the Saudis. It's going to be a young owner or a younger owner that's going to sell, whether it be in the NBA or Major League Baseball. I think the best bet would probably be that their first like toe dip would probably be in Major League Baseball. That would be my prediction. It would be one. I don't think they get their nose in the NFL quite yet. Um, or basketball. Basketball is more of an international sport than all three of them in a way, and even baseball. So I think you could see it in the NBA too. I don't like it, and people can say why I don't like it. That's fine. I don't give a shit. But whatever. Like I just don't. I don't. I'm fine with turning our sports more global. I don't want to share though. I want American owners.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm just gonna be real because the thing is, look, I like to have the drama of sports. You like to have the drama, and you like to have something that's home.
Yeah.
You don't want to have. Look, I'm just gonna be real. The worst thing that ever happened to hip hop and rock and roll is when it went mainstream.
Yeah. There's something to
That's the worst thing that ever happened to hip hop. R&B was always mainstream. The worst thing that ever happened, well, I'll say grunge, because grunge was more underground. Worst thing that ever happened to hip hop and grunge and stuff like that, the underground. I will say the neighborhood music. Uh, the worst thing that ever happened was when it went mainstream.
And by the way, I just want to say something. If this was a bunch of like French assholes trying to buy up all this shit too, I'd be mad too. Like I don't I don't it doesn't I don't give a shit who it is or what. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I think the Saudi belief system, for lack of a better term, is a problem. But I just want to keep American owners. Like that's my thing. Like this is American sports is unique to American culture.
Yeah,
Like,
like I said, sort of like hip hop and grunge. It's
yeah,
like
part
and
of the
geek.
reason,
Yeah, part of the reason why you love it is because it's so unique to the culture.
yes.
Baseball is, I'm finna go. It's American pie. It's American apple pie. Sunday is God, family,
The one,
ball.
the one thing that I've said this is why I had an ex girlfriend years ago that would argue why she'd always tell me what sports is stupid, and I said sports has been more important to American culture and American society than almost any other thing in society. It is the one thing that no matter race, religious belief, or whatever, that everybody can come to the water cooler together and have an opinion on and talk about and brings everybody together. It's the one thing that does that. It always had, even in the worst times in this country, it's the one thing that has always brought us together is sports, is American sports. And I don't want that influenced by non-American entities.
Like I stated, it's not just that. Like I said, I don't want. I'm not. Everybody knows that sports is sponsored corporately, but I don't want sports to become corporatized. I don't want it to become this corporate spectacle. It's just like I don't want this boardroom. I don't want this brawl of a game to end up being this corporate. Just I want my athletes to be. I just want it to be where I could seriously relate to it. And to your point, when certain things happen in sports, especially on the American side of sports, the world stops, and you want to keep that same energy. Like I stated, baseball is American pie. When you think about NFL Sunday, you think about God family football. Even when you think about the NBA, although it does have its international influence on there, you think about the influence on there as far as music is concerned, as far as pop culture is concerned. When you think about hockey, you think about the brawl and the American touch that it has on it, especially the Los Angeles touch on it, because a lot of players, due to Wayne Gretzky being as a big of an icon as he was able to come into the NHL and be pretty much a hit. But I understand that completely, bro. Anything you want to add, BRF, bro? We sitting over here talking. What you got?
Um, I don't honestly though. I kind of, I guess with I guess the Saudis and just I guess me personally, I'm not like. I guess when I look at from the WWE side of things, as far as like the Saudis, I feel like it's taken a lot away from like an example. Like if I look at Triple H and I look at the way he's been booking, like it doesn't feel like I mean I don't think I don't think he'll never really match like the level as far as like what he was doing when he was running NXT. I don't think he'll ever hit that level on the main roster. But at the same time, you kind of felt like, especially after like with like 23 and 24 in the years he had and the way the booking went, you was thinking, okay, 2025, you like we about to see it for real. And it's just really been a letdown. And I think a lot of it is TKO. A lot of it is like, you know, and like with Saudi, like WrestleMania 43, like I remember that press conference, like nobody looked excited, especially the
Nope.
women. Like the women weren't excited at all because they know now having a WrestleMania in Saudi is like those those entrances are gonna suck. I mean, let's just keep it all the way 100. Like some of the best WrestleMania entrances I've ever seen have been from the women superstars. I mean, let's just keep it all the way 100. Like if you go back like WrestleMania 40 when it was that 6-man tag with Jade and Bianca and Naomi going up against Damage Control. Jade, Bianca and Naomi's entrance was one of the greatest entrances I've ever seen. And like moving over to Saudi, it's like
Going to your parents' house,
exactly like yeah, exactly
like going to
like
your
you.
parents.
It's like
Like
yeah,
going
it's
to
like
your parents' house.
yeah.
Your girl can't wear her evening gown after dinner.
Exactly. You got to go over to that sucker in a goddamn big t-shirt and some big baggy pants. Is basically what you going having to go up in there in pretty much. Like you're not gonna be able to do what you're used to doing at a WrestleMania here in the States. Like you're able to go out, you're able to wear the flashy clothes, you're able to really like go all out and kind of make it the flashiest interest you can, and you ain't gonna be able to do that. So it's like I
All
don't
right,
know.
all right, MC Hammer. Please, Hammer, don't hurt him.
I just think again we've brought this up before. The first overseas WrestleMania should have been nowhere near Saudi.
No, not
Those
even.
Europe, now, don't get me wrong. I'm going to throw them a bone. Those crowds have actually been pretty decent lately, but comparable to those European crowds, oh, it's been nothing. It should have gone to England. It should have gone to London, England, or it should have gone to Paris.
Yeah.
And I
It
just
I agree.
the first WrestleMania should have went to nobody else but London, England, just off of the effort that John Cena goes to Money in the Bank when it was in London, and they're basically like they're putting their flag in the ground for it.
Well,
And then it's almost like they do all of this only for Saudi Arabia to get the first WrestleMania anyway. If I'm a fan in London, I'm like, what was the point of Money in the Bank and us staking our flag in the ground if we're not going to get that first WrestleMania anyway? It felt kind of pointless.
Well, the other part of it too, like, and we've talked about this too, is that it's just going to go back and forth between Vegas and Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to get any other. I mean, we're not going to get any other major sites for it in a long. Like, I mean, can you ever see another WrestleMania at Madison Square Garden again?
No.
I can see that. I can see that.
It sucks. I don't see it. I mean, they would basically have to, like, the package they would have to offer would just have to be just astronomical. And I'm sorry, you're not matching Saudi as far as like money.
How can you not have the first out of state WrestleMania at Wembley Stadium?
It beats the heck out of me.
It would have smoked anything AEW did over there, 1, 2, and then on top of it, you haven't been back to Wembley since what, 92 SummerSlam, right?
Yep. You haven't been back since that SummerSlam.
As far as the PLE is concerned, right?
Yeah, as a PLE.
I think as far as just about anything, honestly.
On that level at Wembley? No. I mean, they've been to London, of course.
100,000 people in Wembley, right?
Yeah.
It can hold. Yeah, I think it can hold about 100. Yeah.
Damn.
That's a touchdown. You better call it a touchdown. Fucking.
Without further ado, as we roll into the next segment, let's introduce our special guest star, of course, PSP. Let's go ahead and introduce him. Yeah.
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
We good, bro. How you feeling?
Despite that overtime loss against Denver, I'm okay.
Somebody's sound messed up, bro.
Hold on. I'm trying. See, that's another reason why I'm probably gonna have to get some headphones down the line because I gotta count. Like, I can't cancel like the noise is what it is.
But
I don't think it's messing up.
I'm doing good, champ. Despite the loss last night against Denver, I'm okay.
So, hey, you know what? We both have a long season. Hold on. Can you guys hear me?
No, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, then, cool. So, look, man, without further ado, man, let's just get right on into it, man. Let's get right into it. This is the moment we all been waiting for. Lane Kiffin going with the win, man. What are y'all thoughts? And PSP, since you are our guest star at this point, I'll let you go ahead and go first. What are your thoughts?
I don't have a problem with him leaving. I just have a problem with the timing. I mean, you're still in playoff contention. You're 7th, if I'm not mistaken, in the nation. You're 11-1, and you leave. Now, champ, I did mention it on the pod a few weeks ago from Yahoo Sports' Ross Dellinger that you were thinking about leaving Ole Miss to look at LSU and other schools. And you and I, we talked about it on our pod, Sports PSP pod, every Friday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube.
Yes, indeed.
You've mentioned before about the double standard between how a kid transfers and how they're labeled selfish, immature, and entitled compared to Lane Kiffin, compared to a coach who decides to leave. Lane Kiffin handled it unprofessionally. Now, according to him,
but wasn't he told to leave?
He said in a statement, I read his statement yesterday, he wanted to coach for the rest of the season, but the athletic director, Keith Carter, refused to let him do that. Now, have we heard any statements from Keith Carter in the aftermath of Lane Kiffin's statement? Because I still haven't. So, I don't know. My thing is with Lane Kiffin, if you wanted to leave, that's fine. I just have a problem with the timing, though. And the thing is, with you leaving, and I mentioned in the tweet champ, Caleb Odom, who is one of the players from Ole Miss, he tweeted that you didn't even tell him to his face. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. I'm clear. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Caleb Odom, one of the wide receivers or tight ends from the team, he tweeted that you didn't even tell the players to their face that you were leaving. If that is true, however, now again, I don't know. I wasn't there. If that is true, that does look bad on the part of Lane Kiffin regarding his credibility and integrity. He is under a lot of pressure because we mentioned this, champ. When he left, the timing in which he left, he's still back in the SEC. You obviously went for money, of course. 7-year, $91 million. That's like what, 13 million per year. You're replacing Brian Kelly. And Brian Kelly, look, as much criticism as we give him, if Lane Kiffin doesn't at least live up to the expectations at Baton Rouge, how much criticism or flack do you think he'll get? James Franklin, on the other hand, going to Virginia Tech, I think this is great for him because there's no expectations for Virginia Tech. He can take his time, start off new. I hated for Ole Miss regarding the players because we're this late into the season. We're 11-1. We're 7th in the nation. We still have a chance to make the college football playoffs, and our coach leaves. So, how do we move on as a team? How do we refocus, regather? Pete Golding, if I'm not mistaken, the defensive coordinator from Ole Miss, will be the interim head coach. I wish him the best. We'll see how that plays out. But the pressure's on Lane Kiffin because when he left, the timing in which he left, it took us this long. The person I feel sorry for, other than Ole Miss, the players, Marty Smith, from ESPN, because it was trending free Marty. And I felt bad for him because he had to be away. He could have just stayed at home for Thanksgiving, be with the family. But of course, he had to wait until it was official that Lane Kiffin was going to leave to go to LSU. So the pressure is going to be on Lane Kiffin tremendously because you're still in the SEC and you have to look at the competition you have next season. The season opener in 2026 is at home against Clemson, and then you got to deal with other teams in the SEC. You got to wait on the recruits. We know what a good offensive mind you are, but at the same time, there's going to be a lot of pressure on you. There's going to be a lot of pressure on you because LSU, if they don't want decent, they want to go back to the glory days of winning natties. And they were able to win a national championship with Ed Oregon. They brought in Brian Kelly. He couldn't live up to stuff. And on top of that, there were character issues regarding with Brian Kelly. So I think for Lane Kiffin, the only way you could move on from this and not deal with this public mess right now is by you delivering a national championship. Or if Ole Miss, can you imagine if Ole Miss shockingly goes this far in the college football playoffs without him? Because we did mention that, champ. Could you imagine how much of a story that would be, and that would be held against Lane Kiffin and LSU? And I hate it for the players, and I hate it for Ole Miss, the staff, because I wish he could have left after the season. That way, I would have had enough time in the offseason to try to get a good head coach and try to figure out what I want to do as far as with the recruits. Because we know once he goes to LSU, Lane Kiffin, I'm referring to, the recruits who wanted to go to Ole Miss, they're going to go to LSU.
So
And
then,
you mentioned,
so to my point, so this Carter did put out a statement where he said with this development we cannot. Coach Kiffin and I met yesterday. He informed us that he is accepting the head coaching position at another school. For our program to begin preparing for the future, both short and long term, he will be stepping away from the team immediately. So to your point that you just made about all the players wanting to go LSU, if you let him coach out the rest of the year, he's going to completely bogart all of those players, or at least try to.
fair
And
enough.
for the sake of your program, if I'm the AD, now I'm not defending Lane Kiffin and his decision to leave. I think he's getting a lot. I'm going to push back on the fact that I think he is getting a lot of shit for his decision. I don't think he's getting a pass.
Did you see the
I think
comments from Bill Cowher and Paul Feinbaum?
what do you say?
Did you
Yeah,
hear
he
the
getting
comments from
feedback
Bill
from Bill.
Cowher and Paul Feinbaum?
No.
I heard what Bill Cowher said. I didn't hear what Paul Feinbaum said.
Oh, Bill Cowher was pissed.
Yeah,
Oh, he let him have it.
like Lane Kiff. I think now I don't think it's this. This isn't the typical thing where like a handful, like 10, 15 years ago, where a coach leaves and everybody just kind of like, well, it's how it is. Like I think coaches are now getting, you know, just look at Deion Sanders. He got railed for a while for leaving Jackson State. I mean, it's not I don't think I don't think it's as clean cut and dry anymore as it used to be. I think the problem is that you have now you have both players and coaches now essentially have transfer portals. It's just unfettered chaos. And so you can't do, there's no, again, this is, and then we're just in the beginning stages. Is like the first thing. I think Saban was right. I think Saban is exactly right. I think this will be, I don't think it'll be the ruin of college sports, but I think it will make it less special.
He did say it's a college football conundrum. This is not a Lane Kiffin conundrum. It's a college football conundrum. So my thing is with Ole Miss, how will they move on? Who are they going to find as a coach that is comparable or better to Lane Kiffin? And with Lane Kiffin, as I mentioned, he's on the hot seat because of the timing in which he left. Now going to LSU, you're still in the SEC. You still got to deal with all the competition in the SEC. So it doesn't get any better for you. So the only way he could justify this or move on from this is by him delivering a national championship at Baton Rouge. Because, Champ, you mentioned about his time with the Oakland Raiders. Didn't turn out so well. I mean, 5-15. And then 1 year at Tennessee, he was 7-6. He had a really good season at USC in 2012. Then he went to FAU, had some good seasons there, 2 good seasons, and then with Ole Miss. It's just the timing, though. I mean, I just feel bad for the players because 11-1, we're this deep into the season. They still have a chance for the college football playoffs, and he leaves. If he wanted to leave, fine. If he wanted to start elsewhere, that's fine. I just have a problem with the timing and timing. That's my problem with it. But other than that, nothing else to say.
I mean, why? Why should we be surprised though by this? I mean, he's done this before. I mean, this is the same dude that basically left Tennessee in the middle of the night after coming out and flat out saying, "Oh no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying." And the next thing you know, USC just like opens up the checkbook for him, and bam, he's gone. So I mean, we shouldn't be surprised by Lane Kiffin doing something like this at all. Just yeah, because I'm with you on this. Like, it's the timing. I mean, like, this is arguably the best season that the University of Ole Miss has ever had. They are basically a shoe-in to get into the college football playoff. They're a shoe-in. And just out of the blue is like, okay, yeah, I'm taking the LSU job. And just like he's and what people need to realize about Lane Kiffin, I mean, is he a good coach? Absolutely. But in my opinion, he's just poor man's Brian Kelly. Because he doesn't win big games.
No, BRF. I'm laughing because did I not mention that, Champ, on the pod yesterday?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
You do.
he's a poor man's. He's a poor man's Brian Kelly. He's the SEC's version of Brian Kelly. Even though Brian Kelly he was coaching at LSU. In terms of just the totality of his career, the majority of it being in the SEC, Lane Kiffin is the SEC's version of Brian Kelly. He does not win big games.
Well,
He
James
doesn't.
Franklin.
Even when or James Franklin for that matter. Even when he has great seasons and he puts it together, the games that he needs to win in order to really fortify what he's trying to do, he doesn't win them. Like an example, this year, his one loss, Georgia. You had a chance to really stake your claim into the SEC, show everybody that you're here. And granted, you're 11-1. That one was to a Georgia squad who was struggling, coming to that game offensively, and you awoken them, and they haven't looked back since. They haven't looked back since. But it's like we shouldn't be surprised with Lane Kiffin doing something like this because he's done it before. I mean, he's a.
Saban
I
tell
mean,
him
he's about. I mean, let's keep it a buck. He's about as loyal as Dominic Mysterio. Let's just keep it 100 for what it worth. I mean, keep it for what it worth. Let's keep it a buck.
Didn't even Saban tell him to leave as the offensive coordinator at Alabama? Like, just told him flat out, like, get out of here.
Yeah, he told him to get the fuck out. I mean,
he told him to flat out go. Yeah. But I mean, it's just like everybody that's like, oh my gosh, why would he do such a thing? And that kind of clutching pearls a little bit. When I heard he was taking a job, I'm like, there he goes again.
Oh,
and I mean, and Bill Cowher said it best. He is only in it for him. He's in it for himself. I heard exactly what Bill Cowher said. He basically said he's not in it for the players. He's not about loyalty. He's about loyalty to Lane Kiffin. That's all he's about. And we should not be shocked by this at all. And it's a shame. And it's a shame because he goes for being at a school like Ole Miss, where he's not going to have a lot of pressure to basically build up, just continually building the foundation. He's not going to have pressure like that on Ole Miss to immediately going into the flames at LSU. And now basically fans, boosters, alumni, they are demanding instant success. Like he's coming into next year. He has to get them at least in the college football playoff, or it is a failure from the jump. He's got to get them in the college football playoff. He jumps into immediate pressure and immediate expectations. My question is, with the history of Lane Kiffin, is he going to be able to handle the type of pressure that LSU is about to put on him from the jump? Because we know what LSU is about. We know their history. I mean, they won a championship with Nick Saban. They won a championship with Les Miles. They won a championship with Ed Orgeron. They are about winning. And he's coming in with the immediate pressure after seeing what he's done with Ole Miss, getting this team into the college football playoff. They are expecting this from the jump. And he's kind of done it to himself. He's got to deliver. He's got to deliver, because if he doesn't get them to the college football playoff immediately from the jump in 2026, he might not be on the hot seat, but that seat is warm right off the bat. And that's why I kind of hated he went to LSU, because I mean maybe he's kind of, he wants it, but I don't know, with his history is just, will he be able to handle it is the question.
So BRF is kind of. I'm sorry, Flash, but
no, go ahead, dude. You go first.
I just want to say one last thing. So we shouldn't be surprised. It's kind of like how 50 Cent continues to troll Diddy all the time.
It's not surprising at all. We should with that, we should expect at least 2 or 3 50 jokes on Diddy a day. We should expect this. We should absolutely expect this. With Lane Kiffin, we should expect this once every 3 or 4 years. Like, don't be shocked if he was to go to friggin' LSU, has a little success, and then the NFL was to come calling again. He would jump on a bus and leave in the middle of the night again. That's just Lane Kiffin. That's just how he is. He's going to go to where he feels the money is. That's what he's going to do.
Okay, but isn't this the culture we've created? We bitched for years. Well, the players need their autonomy, and they need to go where they want to go to, and they need free agency in college, and they need to be paid, and blah 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 blah. And
if it wasn't for the coaches, we wouldn't. If it wasn't for the coaches doing this well before the NIL started, we wouldn't even be in this situation.
Oh, well, I don't completely disagree, but I also think that the whole, like, we need to pay the players thing would have been a thing anyways, besides, even without the coaches and doing their thing. But we've created this. We've created this whole culture now around college sports, not only with the coaches, but with the players now too. It's not just Lane Kiffin that's out for himself. It's everybody, including the players. And this is what we've created. We asked for it. Now we got it.
But with the players, I'll say this, and I'll go back to team view at this point. With the players, I'll say this: we expect them to be more loyal to the program than the program is to them. That's just the thing. We expect that. And whenever a player, like, we ate Nico alive when he went to Tennessee. I don't, me included.
You
Now,
mean UCLA?
Yes, but I think that was for
granted, he
Joe.
played himself out of a butt. Now, granted, he played himself out of position and a bunch of money, and he was getting his ass whooped for the majority of the beginning of the season.
You mean
And,
UCLA champ?
huh?
When he transferred from Tennessee to UCLA.
Yeah, when he transferred. But the thing is, we ate him alive, and everybody told him how selfish that he was.
But I don't think he was doing it. I don't think he was. I don't think we all ragged on him because we thought he was selfish. We ragged on him because we thought he was stupid. It's like, dude, you're not that good to demand what you're demanding.
Yeah, it was more. It was more along the fact that he was leaving a prime school like Tennessee to go to UCLA.
Well, I wasn't surprised really because BRF, if you check his history, Nico's history, he's from Cali. So it seemed to me
Yeah,
he just wanted to be back at home. But yes, nevertheless, to go from Tennessee to UCLA, what makes you think you're going to compete? Yeah.
yeah.
So there you go. There you go.
But you know what? I will just be real, man. I didn't realize that Rancho. I thought that Rancho Cucamonga was a make believe place they made for Friday until
Next
I got a
Friday.
little bit older and research. I'm like, oh shit, that's real. But yeah,
You know CJ Stroud from there, you know that, right?
yeah, that's what. Yeah, CJ Stroud. He was on Snoop's team.
Yeah.
Out there, Rancho Cucamonga, or as in the great words of Uncle Arrow, Rancho Chocamanga. So yeah, I'm a young Uncle Elroy.
I guess
they tens, but I keep them clean though.
as much as I feel that the Lane Kiffin hate right now is well deserved, are we at the point now? Is the product that we asked for better than the product that we had?
Well, the thing is, I'm just gonna be real. There is number one, no loyalty in work anyway. Just be real. And look, I'm gonna just be real. Let's just call it a buck. We all love our jobs at the end of the day. I love my job with a passion. Matter of fact, I try my best to be the top performer every month. And I'm gonna just be real. ESPN come calling tomorrow. Champ going to ESPN.
But all right, but I kind of.
Now, granted, I'm going to do it the right way, but shit, that ESPN.
Undisputed world champ would only listen to one call and one call only, and that's Joy Taylor.
Well, I listen to her after the fact because you know she already
Champ got to get his money first. Champ got to get his money first.
I got to get that money first. She already said all the money. I already got the funny part right, so I got to get the money part right. Then you know, me and Joy Taylor can go out on that hot date. You know what I'm saying? I can go out there and you know what I'm saying. But all jokes aside, but let's just be all the way a buck. Let's just be all the way a buck. Number one, we need to blame the system a little bit more, and but we need to blame the system a little bit more than we blaming the coach. Because had college football had a system in place where you could finish out a season and not have to, leave your team, then I think it would be a lot better. I really do. I really think it'll be a lot better if they had a system in place where a coach doesn't have to be given an ultimatum by the athletic director. And look, when the coach leaves the program, he's going to be taking people with him every damn year. Let's just be clear.
Especially the offensive staff and giving her an offensive mind.
Exactly.
You're going to take guys with you every single year. This is my chance in order to do something that a team from Ole Miss has never done before, and that's win a natty. So guess what? They could have let him coach. Now, they would have been scorched earth at the end of the damn time. Yeah. Could they have went on ahead and appointed a coach after that, saying, okay, you're going to be the coach after this? Yes, they could. The thing is, you knew it was going to be scorched earth. And look, but are you willing to risk that in order to say, look, we have a chance to do something special. We're capable of beating in Ohio State. We're capable of beating in Indiana. We're capable of beating in Alabama. They're beatable. We're capable of beating a damn Georgia. We faced them before. We know what they think. We're capable of beating Oregon. We're capable of beating a lot of these damn teams, including Oklahoma. Why not just let him stay and say, look, we're going to let you stay. But that big payoff got to be the Natty, because you have the capability. When he was there, you had the capability in order to go in. The biggest story of this year was how many SEC teams can potentially make it, and how the Big Ten will be dethroned this year. That was the biggest thing, because granted, 1 and 2 from the Big Ten is going to beat the hell out of each other this year, and one of them is going to drop. And whoever wins that Alabama versus Georgia game, even if Georgia loses, they're still in the college football playoffs. Then you have to worry about Oklahoma. Then you have to worry about Alabama, Texas A&M, Ole Miss. Then the wild card, Texas. That's 5 SEC teams in the damn college football playoffs.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't.
I think
I don't think Texas should get in.
if Georgia wins, if Georgia loses, they have a chance to make it in. They have a chance to make it in. But you have all of these teams that are very, very fully capable of being in the college football playoff, and they're very, very beatable. There's not that one that's just
The weakest link, the weakest link of the SEC in those playoffs would perhaps be Oklahoma.
yeah.
We know what they can
Yeah.
do defensively. It's
But
just
that
that
offense is not
offense.
what it used to be.
You would know that for a fact, Chip, because again, we had to go against your Bulldogs as well as BRF in the college football playoffs. The
The
first
heart
time we
attack game.
lost. Yeah,
Yeah, we was down by damn 20 points. That was an enraging game. But
And yeah, I remember that game too. And they had that big lead, and it wasn't like we threw our way back in that game. We ran our way back in that game.
no,
exactly.
I thought it had, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I said, bro, at halftime it was 20-3. I said, oh yeah, we're fucked. 20-3. Oh yeah, we fucked. Good.
I didn't. I honestly didn't feel like that because I felt like I said Georgia at that point in time. I felt like Georgia was the one team, even in the 20-3 game, is like they're not. They weren't going to. They weren't going to like fade away from what they did best, which was still run the football. And the fact that they were able to make a comeback like that, barely throwing the football, says a lot about the offensive line and the running backs they had at Georgia at the time. Because that's insane to be able to just basically primarily run the ball and not only come back, but to put up the amount of points they did running the football.
Yeah.
And especially with the monsters y'all had in Chubb and Michelle.
Oh my God! Exactly.
And Kirby Smart said at the beginning of the game, he told Georgia fans, I'll never forget, he said this: look, guys, don't panic in the first half. I got you. He said, I remember he telling them that. He said he told Georgia fans, don't panic in the first half. He said, because they're gonna come out, because Baker Mayfield was out there chucking it. What's so funny about that team is half that damn team is Pro Bowlers at this point. As far as
CD, Mark Andrews,
Mark Andrews.
you got Hollywood. I don't think Hollywood Brown made the Pro Bowl yet, but still, you just
He's had 1,000-yard seasons.
yes, but that tells you how lethal he is as a weapon because we know his speed, how he can take the top off the defense. You can use him in screens and gadgets. But the thing is, the question for all three of y'all: do you see Lane Kiffin winning a championship at LSU? Because I see at least 3-4 years in order for them to at least make the college football playoffs.
I can see him making the college football playoff at this point, but the thing is, you still have to deal with Alabama.
Yes.
I think Kellen DeVore is in his about to be in his third year, so he got his clause in the program now. Still got to deal with Alabama. Alabama's always going to be there. And you got to deal with Georgia. Kirby Smart, I don't think he's going anywhere. There was rumors about him going to the pros next week, but that shit got squashed. Thankfully, good God. But that rumor got squashed. Then you have to deal with those are just the top two guys. You don't know what this new coach in Auburn is capable of. You don't know
Oklahoma.
who Florida's going to hire. Coach V, that defense, he has the defense in Oklahoma to die for. So the SEC is still competitive, and that's just at the top end. Look, let's just be clear. Vanderbilt, Tennessee, teams like that come out of nowhere every single year in the SEC, especially now that the parity is here. And look, the problem with Lane Kiffin that I have is this: you lose big games that you're supposed to win. You've lost against Georgia. You've lost against Alabama. you've lost cheap games that you could have won. You've lost cheap games that you could have won. So what makes you think a change of scenery is going to make any difference? And you was at a big time program at one point. You was at USC.
Yeah, Matt Barkley there, and Matt Barkley at
And if
one
you can,
point was in the conversation.
yes, and then you was in the BCS era. Pac-10 was relatively weak back then. You can win there.
I mean,
Yeah,
the only teams that were in that way at that time was Oregon with Chip Kelly as the head coach when he had one of the Heisman finalists in Michael James, and then in Stanford for a little bit when they had Andrew Luck and Jim Harbaugh, along later on David Shaw as the head coach, and you still couldn't even do nothing.
no, he still couldn't do anything. So you've had the kingdom handed to you before, and you still couldn't rule the roost. And that's in the Pac-10. What the hell makes you think you're gonna be able to coach the way you do, and you make it at LSU? And look, like I always say, 3 places you can get your behind fired quick: Philadelphia, Auburn, SEC. You go 3 years and do it and pull a James Franklin in the SEC, there will not be a fourth. And another thing we need to be talking about is big fat ass buyouts that these damn coaches be having.
Yeah, I mean, Jimbo Fisher, remember that huge buyout he had at Texas A&M?
$90 million. James Franklin, thankfully, he found another pay that much.
Brian Kelly, $54 million.
$52 million.
Dude, can I just get hired once and then get fired a year later by one of these fucking colleges?
Man, please. I'll be on yachts and shit for the rest of my damn life. You won't have to worry about me doing shit.
I would just, man, if I had that type of money, I would just get myself a nice little condo, a place to myself, take care of my family, and then try to invest in business and something. But the thing is, Lane Kiffin brought him on himself. Plus, before LSU, there was even reports about him possibly going to New York to coach the Giants, and only because of Jackson Dart, the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is with Lane Kiffin, you on the hot seat, especially with the timing in which you left and you're still in the SEC. So and LSU, the expectations and the hype. And look, they brought in Brian Kelly to do all of that, and he couldn't even do that. So imagine if you actually being worse than Brian Kelly.
I'm going to say this right here. Look. Hey, I'm going to just say this at this moment. If you go to LSU in 2 years and you ain't in the college football playoff, it's going to be some hell. It's going to be something raining down on you. And it damn sure ain't going to be the melodies from heaven. So let's just be real with you.
You're right, though.
Right now, LSU, you're expected to win a natty. They won one with Nick Saban, Les Miles, Coach O. And 3 of those teams were considered some of the best teams of all times, college football. So if you don't win in LSU, and you have all the resources at your fingertips, because rumor has it, they're about to get him a $25 million a year salary cap in order to use on NIL and NIL alone. That's what rumor has it. So
Dude,
you basically have a chance to General Sherman the damn South at this point. And if y'all don't know who General Sherman is, look it up. You have a chance to General Sherman the South right about now, as far as scorched earth.
Otherwise, it'll be uglier than the masterpiece sneaker.
Exactly.
You always say.
So you better go down there and you better become General Sherman and scorched earth. Because the first time Kirby Smart comes to town, the first time Kellen DeVore comes to town, they gonna light a fire up under your ass quick.
It'll be uglier than Flavor Flav's teeth.
Yep. Ooh, god damn. That's nasty as hell.
See, this is what bothers me, I think, about. I want the old way back. And people can moan and groan all they want. I want the old way, because now it's just the amount of. Now, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of players were paid under the table and all that kind of stuff, but nowhere near as the amount of money that's flowing around right now. Because now it's not where a program organically just rises back to the top again. Now it's just like, well, we're just going to open up the checkbook. And that's all we're going to do. We're just going to open up the checkbook. That's exactly what it is. And I don't know.
So we've covered all the bases on Lane Kiffin. So let's move on to something else, because the thing is, ain't no more script. So who will win the conference championship this weekend? Flash, we will start with you. Who will win the conference championships this weekend? What is your predictions?
Oh God, I haven't looked at the games yet this weekend.
Okay, let's. Okay. So it's Ohio. Okay, so it's Ohio State, Indiana, Big Ten, Georgia, Alabama, SEC, Virginia, Duke, ACC, and who's Big 12?
Texas Tech.
Hold on, I'm bringing it up here.
I really think that it's going to be interesting to see this Indiana game, but I think Ohio State got it. Ohio State got it. I mean, I think Ohio State is the team this year. I think the team. Oh yeah, Tommy Lee. Thank you. BYU.
Yes.
BYU. Thank you.
Okay.
So
Texas Tech, BYU, Big 12. Okay.
Look. I think the Indiana story is cute. It is. It's adorable. I do, but again, it's going to be Ohio State. We've been saying it all year long. They're the best team in the country. There's really and everybody's second place to them. So I don't think that's gonna change. Alabama, Georgia is the tough one. Y'all are going to hate me for this, or there's going to be two people that hate me for this, but I'm going to go with Alabama.
I don't blame you.
We haven't proven we could beat them. So I mean, what is there to get upset about?
So I just think I'm just going to go with Alabama on that one. That doesn't mean that I don't think Georgia can't win the title, like the whole thing, but I'm just going to go with Alabama.
Then there's Texas Tech, BYU in the Big 12.
No, you got. Does it really matter which one of those wins the conference title?
Come on, bro.
No, but at the same time, we want to give them their respect. Let's not act like it's chicken shit.
All right, we will talk about the toddlers in the corner and give them their participation trophy. I'm going to go with Texas Tech. I'm going to go with Texas Tech on that one in the Big 12. The Big 12 that doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't even a conference. ACC. Well, sure. We'll go with unranked Duke and 18th ranked Virginia. We'll just go with Virginia on that one.
How ironic that name Duke, because they can be ass at times.
If you're the ACC, you are rooting for Virginia hard. You're rooting for Virginia. Duke can't go to the college football playoff. They got eliminated. They can't go.
Ridiculous. But this is my point, though. This is why, as much as it's really, don't get me wrong. I know I'm coming across like an asshole, but like when I call the Big 12 a bunch of toddlers, like I'm sorry, it's just the truth. It just is what it is. They're going to get in there and they're going to get against the Big 10, which is really not actually the Big 10 anymore, and the SEC, which really isn't the SEC anymore, and they're just going to get curb stomped. Am I wrong?
Hey, anything can happen to college football, man.
Yeah. Okay, that's true.
Then that means that Indiana may have a chance of beating OSU by that logic, champ.
Yeah.
Indiana, I give them a puncher's. I give Indiana a puncher's chance from the standpoint. This is why I say 1 year, okay, last year the Indiana story was cute, but the fact that they've come back and they've been able to do this again, we should put a little more respect on them. Do I think Ohio State is going to win? Absolutely, but Ohio State better not sleep on Indiana, because Indiana got some players on that squad, particularly Fernando Mendoza and Elijah Surratt, that wide receiver, who I think is a first-round pro talent. So if I'm Ohio State, I am really taking them seriously, because if they look past Indiana will slip up, and they'll drop some points on them. I do think Ohio State's going to win, because I just think Ohio State across the board, in terms of the matchup, they're just better than them in every way. But I think we got to give Indiana a little more respect here. I think Indiana could be one of those squads that can get into the college football playoff this year and actually make a little noise. Just knock out somebody and could possibly make like a semifinal run. Like Indiana's one of those squads. Like I think we should put a little more respect on them. I do
Yeah.
think Ohio State's going to. I think Ohio State's going to win because just across the board they're just better. But I think the Big Ten championship could arguably be the best game of the whole weekend. So I'm gonna show Indiana. I'm gonna show Indiana a little more love here. But like I said, I am gonna pick Ohio State to win that game. Yeah, I think I'm a roll Texas Tech to win the Big 12. I'm not gonna lie. I'm picking Duke to win the ACC just to see that conference go down. It's a shame the fact that Georgia Tech had the ACC like right there and they blew it. And I mean, flat out blew it. Georgia Tech had it right there, and they let it go. I want chaos. I want to see Duke win. Any type of college football chaos is good chaos. So I want to see Duke win the ACC, just to be funny.
But do we even need these conferences anymore?
Mm, probably. I don't know. Well,
Why?
I am interested in the AAC conference championship game between Tulane and North Texas.
Why?
Gives us something interesting, something new, as opposed to the SEC, Big Ten, and plus the ACC at this point is just watered down. It's just
yeah,
not
cause
what it used
yeah,
to be.
cause Tulane and North Texas, I think they're two Group of Five teams that actually have a shot to get into the playoffs. So it's an interesting game.
Let me ask y'all this as a collective group, man. I got to bring everybody back to the dinner table, and bring us back to that. Look, and in a few years there will be no conference game. That's a valid point, but we will talk about that at a later time. I'm just gonna ask this question right here. Should they just say this? We're gonna put starting in like 2030. We're gonna put 16 teams in the college football playoffs. If you don't fucking make it, tough shit. Should they just start doing that? Because it's getting to the point where
You mean removing bowl games, champ? Because we discussed that. Yes, we've been discussing that, champ.
Yeah,
we've been. I mean, they're not good. I mean, I'm sorry to cut you off, champ, but
yeah,
the thing is, the players, they're gonna focus on the NFL draft. They're gonna focus on whatever business or responsibility that they have down the road. We've had that conversation several times, and plus, unless you make the playoffs, no one takes the bowl game seriously.
yeah.
Now, if it were the early 90s or 2000s, that's one thing. But nowadays,
and now
again,
championships don't matter.
I ask, after the years of bitching, do we like the product more now than we did back then?
Because I remember, look, let's just be real. I remember, look, I hated it. I hated the BCS. But
couldn't stand it.
But a conference championship during BCS season, if you didn't win, in the great words of John Witherspoon, that was your ass, Mr. Postman.
Rest his soul.
God rest his soul. Let's say it like he was saying. That's your ass.
Yes, Mr. Postman. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Let's just be real. Back when there was only 4 teams that could make it to the college football playoff, the only 2 teams got in there without winning their conference. That was Ohio State and Alabama. So yeah,
everything meant something, didn't it?
Everything meant something. So it's time to bring college football back to a point where it means something again. Like I said, like he just stated, I think it's Kyler. He stated that in a few years there will be no conference championship game. And look, you got to ask yourself this. Here's another thing I'm asking myself this. I'm just going to be real. If I'm undefeated and I'm a number 1 team in the nation, right? and I know that my team has a chance to go to the college football playoff, am I going to risk an injury if it's a blowout?
No.
Take my guys off the field and cheapen the product? Probably so. I'm going to take them off the field. Look,
But
we up
that's my point,
35-0
though.
at halftime. So I really think that, and I believe that's why they're trying to get it to where it's like March Madness in college football. So it can mean something again. So that if you lose 3 games, you know you're out of there. You lose 4 games, there's not no more participation trophies as far as bowl season is concerned. The main reason why bowls were there because everybody couldn't win a national championship. Everybody couldn't go there.
But here's the thing, champ. Even though we argued that the bowls, they should probably consider removing the bowl games, not a lot of people don't want to do that. Do you see
because they're
them?
moneymakers.
Yeah, moneymakers. So do you see them, dare I say, and again, this is just speculation on my part, do you think they should probably take a page out of the NBA with, like you see with the in-season tournaments? Should they do something like that? I don't know.
That would
No.
never work in football.
Yeah.
No.
That would never work in football.
If they're going to do anything, I like the way they do. Like, I don't think they're going to like get rid of the bowl games. I think they're going to find, if they did like a 16-team tournament, I still think they will find a way to incorporate some of those bowl games into that tournament. I mean, I don't think they would fully get away from them. I think they would find a way to incorporate. They'd incorporate like some of those, like they would find a way to incorporate it. Like whether it would be like, it basically would be like what I would do. Okay, if you go 16 teams, that first round, whoever's the home team, you got it on your field. I would just kind of keep it as it is. That first round, if you're the home team, you get it on your field. But then semifinals on, but then like the round of 8 and then on, then you're incorporating the bowl games. I think that's probably how they would do it. I think they would probably just continue it that way. Like they would bring, they like in particular, they would bring like the New Year's Six bowls into it, and then just kind of go from there. Just make them all like neutral sites. I don't think they would get rid of them completely, but I do think they will find their way to continue to incorporate them in the playoff at some point. I mean, because at the end of the day, they're still a money grab. So why not just double up the money grab and just incorporate it into like a 16-team playoff? Even though they kind of already do that, just make it even more. And it's like if they were to go 16 teams. So I don't think they would fully get away from bowl games. They would just incorporate them even more into like if they were to go 16 teams.
So I just had a thought. We talk a lot about this new parity in college football now. Is it really? Are we heading towards more of a consolidation of power, essentially, amongst like basically the richest schools that we have, and that's it? Because if we just look at what just like we kind of fleshed out right now with involving the bowl games in the 16-team playoff, what does that do for all those teams like Tulane and North Texas and that would go to the showmyboobies.com bowl, like, and everybody, and they would and so what does that do? What does that do to all those schools? Now they're just now they have nothing to play for.
Flash, I don't know you anymore, Flash. I don't know you anymore. Jesus Christ.
Flash do this shit every week, bro.
The show my boobies duck. Jesus Christ.
Well, what was that one? What was that? Like the GoDaddy Bowl?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
That sounds like some softcore shit.
What?
Oh my gosh.
The softcore though, the GoDaddy Bowl.
Yeah, that's basically what it was.
Made me drop. Made me drop my. This man made me drop my damn earphone. I don't even know what to say.
It's not like I just had to say that. There's a reason why. There's a tie back to it. Anyway,
oh Jesus!
That's my original point.
Lord have mercy.
Are we literally, instead of this parity that we're talking about, are we consolidating power in college football? where we're not going to have parity. We're not even going to have as much parity as we did before. PSP's like, fuck, I don't know what we don't say anymore.
What's next? You're gonna try to. What's next? You're gonna ask Pornhub to promote a football game?
Would you be shocked?
Hey man,
Hell no.
NFL, baby.
No.
Tell me titties in football ain't gonna sell.
Everybody, don't tell me you didn't go on. Don't tell me you didn't go on the PH and watch College Rules
Have
on,
white
on,
thing, the national
on
anthem and shit like that. That should be fun.
yeah. Don't tell me y'all didn't go on to Pornhub and be like, well, I'm gonna look up this channel College Rules. So it would be a great. You know.
I sure hope we continue the Undisputed Go podcast. I don't want Champ to be canceled.
Oh God.
Oh, it get worse.
Just imagine if I had time on my hands.
Oh my God, the comments. The comments. Oh boy.
The dirty man.
Jesus.
Hey, don't let
I swear I'm gonna have to take a shower right after this.
Don't let West Coast Productions get their hands on the damn bowl.
Oh Jesus, God knows. Lord, the Wicked Pictures Bowl. I see it coming.
Vivid.
Golly.
Vivid Pictures Bowl, or Vivid Bowl.
The Vivid Bowl.
Can you imagine Jules? Let's get
back on the tracks, people. Back on the tracks.
Yeah.
Hell is calling from beneath. We need to set it down. We need to knock it back down a little bit.
Disclaimer: the views that are expressed during the subject are only those of Undisputed World Champ.
Are you saying you don't like boobies? What's going on here?
Yes, the views and opinions expressed by the Undisputed GOAT podcast are shared by the Undisputed GOAT podcast alone. Yes. They don't do not reflect anyone else's opinions but their own.
What's your problem, Champ? What are you just jealous because you can't stand the fact that Klay Thompson got Megan Thee Stallion and your ass is at home?
Hey man,
got a whole song made for him too.
Damn. Anyway, let's shift over from college because girls going wild is getting out of hand on the college side of things. But,
I'm surprised I'm surprised that didn't get a bowl game.
I'm sure they tried.
Oh, you know. Oh, Flash, you know they tried. You know they tried.
Bro, Lord have mercy. This is the damn first day back. We damn near about to get kicked off the air. But let me chill out. I'm already in Instagram jail, so let me chill.
You probably gonna need your Bible. You're gonna need your Bible.
Yeah, I'm already in Instagram jail on my main profile, so
the Lord gonna kick you out. That's what I'm afraid.
Lord.
And look, it was a picture of a Black Gabby doll. I didn't even realize it was that bad. So yeah, let's shift it over to
the Lord is my shepherd. He know what I want. Excuse me, fellas, Miss Parker.
But let's go ahead and shift it over to pro. Look, let's move over. Look, ain't none of this scripted no more, man. We just gonna wing this shit. Let's just be real. We got the main segments done. We finna wing this shit. So let's just be clear. Let's get over to pro. Shift it over to pro. How for real are your guys, Flash? How for real are the New England Patriots? I need to know, and I need to put you on the big screen because I want to know this.
Dude, I'm the person that said at the beginning of the year that I thought they were at least another year away from being like a legitimate playoff contender. Dude, yesterday I was in my fantasy football chat and I was saying that the Rams are playing the best football in the league and then they just lost yesterday. Dude, I think New England's the best football team in the league. Dare I say? Drake May is in this last like 10 weeks has gone from a question mark as a franchise quarterback to he's playing, besides maybe Matthew Stafford, like the best position in the league right now. Like, and it's not even close. Like the running game now is finally like they finally started giving it to 32. You know, I've been begging since the beginning of the season to put it in Henderson's hands, and they finally did. And now they have a big time back. I didn't think they had, besides Diggs. I didn't think they had the offensive weapons to have a really sustainable offense. Boy, was I fucking wrong. Hunter Henry has had a rejuvenation at the tight end position. I mean, their defense.
Will Campbell is a stud at left tackle.
Their defense, which going into the season, I thought they were one of the better defenses going into the season. Their defense has been great. Now, don't get me wrong; they're playing a really busted up New York Giants team right now. No Scattaboo. Dart just came back from injury. They're no Malik Neighbors. So, like, I get it. Like, this should be, but this is the thing. If you're a good football team, you should be beating up on the New York Giants, and they are beating
the teams you're
all
supposed to
shit out of them. So, it gives me glee to see other people sad and crying and thought that this franchise was going to be done for a long time, to now we have potentially another top 3 quarterback in the league already. Potentially. And by the way, I'd have to look at what they have for like their draft picks. But I think they have all their draft picks. They can give this kid more weapons. Just saying. So I mean, we're like 2 years early in this rebuild right now. And by the way, I just want to say something. For all the flack that Josh McDaniels gets as a head coach, which is well deserved, and for all the shit that he used to get about the only reason he was a good offensive coordinator was because of Brady, I think he is proving all of that wrong right now. So, fuck, man, it's like 2006 all over again. You look at the standings, it's great. This is awesome. I am happy, dude. They had a defense flies to the ball, they create turnovers. The special team scored a touchdown tonight. Like, they are just a well-coached football team, and it makes me so happy. Oh.
How much?
Well, that tells you how much fools Tennessee is by letting Mike Vrabel out the door.
Oh, I think everybody thought that was a stupid mistake.
Yeah.
Especially for Brian Callahan's old sorry ass.
Yeah, like I don't think anybody here was like, well, this is a good idea. Like, let's just let one of the better young coaches in the NFL just go. Like, I was still upset that New England went and hired what's his face last year?
OJ Mayo.
Yeah.
Gerard Mayo.
Gerard Mayo. I love Gerard Mayo as a Patriot linebacker. He was not ready to take that position on, and they should have hired Vrabel right away. Now, whether Vrabel wanted it right away or not, like, I don't know. But like that was one of those things where they should have hired Vrabel right away. I'm happy Tennessee was stupid and let him go. That's fine. I'm totally okay with that. So this makes me, watching this team play good football again. Like, I am looking forward to. I want to go back to New England next year for a football game. So,
how much would it mean to you as a Patriots fan? Then we'll let BRF go. How much would it mean to you as a Patriots fan for you to become the 49ers of this generation? What I mean by that is you're able to transition from the greatest of all time to now having a top 10 quarterback that wins the Super Bowl, especially if you're able to win a Super Bowl this year. How much does that mean to you as a Patriots fan to say my organization is the top of the fucking spectrum at this point? Because they have 6 Super Bowls and we lost the greatest of all time. We lost the greatest player of all time, the greatest quarterback of all time. We lost the greatest coach of all time. We were able to transition back to a good coach who was the cornerstone of the dynasty that started it all, and he was able to bring in a good and they were able to bring in a good quarterback. He was able to come in and give this team the coaching that they need. Because if you look at Mike Vrabel as far as the coaching is concerned, he's very engaged. He's like Jimmy Johnson. He's very engaged with anybody.
Yes.
He's working with the linemen. He's working with the linebackers. He's working with the quarterback. It's like he got his eyes in the back of his head. What would it mean to you as a Patriots fan to see your team win another Super Bowl outside of the Brady Belichick era with a guy who was the cornerstone of its very first dynasty at the beginning of that dynasty?
I think one of the more fun aspects about being a Patriot fan, and then especially like being a Patriot fan during the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick era, is that when everybody thought that they were dead, they just kind of like the Undertaker, just like they just constantly kept like it was so like everybody it was so cool to see people basically get beaten emotionally into respecting Brady and Belichick and just acknowledging how great they were. Like it was like a 22-year troll job. And me as a mild troll enjoyed every aspect of it. But as just a pure fan, if they can win another one this year so quickly after a turnaround, like I don't know. I can't even describe. I mean, I kind of know what that feels like because I'm from Wisconsin and we went from Favre to Rodgers. But this would be on like another level.
They're like the 49ers. It's
but even more so than the Niners. Like
you go from the greatest, like I said, you go from the greatest player and the greatest coach of all time. Remember Bill Walsh and Joe Montana, greatest player, greatest coach of all time. And then you go from there. And remember, people don't understand this. People don't give George Seifert a lot of credit. But George Seifert, he was part of the dynasty when it first started. He was the defensive coordinator.
Yep.
And he was also the defensive backs coach. Remember, Ronnie Lott wanted to beat the hell out of George Seifert because he would have them running everywhere they went. He said he would be running in the neighborhood. He said some of us just want to go to George Seifert's house and kidnap him because he would just run us to death. But to go from Walsh and Montana to then George Seifert and then Steve Young, who's a top 10 quarterback, that would be very, very 49er-ish. So
yes. I would
Green Bay-ish as well.
Yeah, well, that's what I said too. I also think it
ironically,
gives me
the
a
coach
little
who
bit
got
of
Green Bay
pleasure.
back to its winning days, he came from the 49ers.
I just want to. It would also give me a little bit of pleasure in the aspect of if it was in the same year that the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes didn't make the playoffs. It just would add a little bit of like
a little bit of spice.
Yeah, a little bit of like like all that everybody running their mouths about how Mahomes was a GOAT and blah 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 and all this other kind of bullshit. Like, because we're so quick as a sports culture to now be like the new guy that like is a flash in the pan is now the greatest of all time now. It would just be a little bit of just like just now they're not Kansas City's not dead yet. I just want to point that out. But yeah, they're fun to watch too because Vrabel, like you said, is the complete opposite of what Belichick was. Vrabel's engaged and excited and completely different on the sidelines.
He's very engaged with everybody. Like I stated, I saw him doing drills with the offensive line and everything.
It's they're a fun team to watch. That's the thing.
Only creepy comment Mike Vrabel ever said was something about chopping his what.
That's fine. I don't care. As long as he's winning football games, that's fine. He can chop or talk about this or that or whatever. Just win.
But outside of that, he is a player's coach. Players love him. He motivates the team. I think, to me, he's kind of like in ways like Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
I mean, our biggest knock, Champ and our biggest knock of Dan Campbell, he constantly goes for it too many times on fourth down. But Mike Vrabel obviously has been to a conference championship game in Tennessee. He knows exactly what he can do. And I've said it, Champ. I've told you before. I wanted Drake May coming out of that draft. I have told you, no matter how much I love Jaden Daniels, and I love Jaden Daniels, I wanted Drake May over Jaden Daniels. Because I saw him coming out of North Carolina. This dude was legit. He had arm, he had size, he had ability. He has potential, mad potential to be in a legit QB. And I think it's between him and Stafford right now for the MVP.
Yeah.
Now,
I 100%. I am 100% with you.
Now Stafford, I still think he has a chance to win the MVP despite that performance yesterday against the Carolina Panthers, which we'll perhaps talk about that later on the show. But Drake May has a strong case, though, especially with the year New England is having.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think it's down to those two at this point. I don't like. We're getting to that point where it's basically a 2-horse race. I think Indy losing yesterday, it's going to hurt. I think the whole Jonathan Taylor thing is starting to, kind of
Fade
dwindle down a little bit now. I just, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills are just not having the same. They're just not. It's just not there. Like there's really nobody. I think it's just those two. There's nobody else in the league right now besides those two that are playing the best football. And
I agree. It's right now. I would say right now it's a 2-horse race for MVP. I think the third leg of that could have been Jackson Smith and Jigba, but the game he had yesterday kind of like killed his momentum a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think right now it is Drake May and Matthew Stafford. I mean, y'all know who I picked in the preseason. I would still lean Stafford a little bit, even with that performance against Carolina. Because I mean, even with the 2 picks, he still had a ridiculous game, throwing a couple touchdowns in the yardage. But Drake, man, yeah, like I said that I felt like the New England Patriots were. I didn't think they were going to be. I didn't think they were going to be 10 wins at the beginning of December good. But I did think they would have. I was thinking, they would be like one of these sneaky little wild card teams, 10-7, like 10-7, 11-6. I wasn't thinking like 10-2, about to be 11-2 in the beginning of December. Like, I wasn't thinking like number one in the AFC good. But I mean, it's like I said, it's Mike Vrabel, and it's the discipline, and it's just how much of a player's coach Mike Vrabel is, from the standpoint he's really not that far off of retirement when you think about his peak years and when he played ball. He's still relatively kind of fresh as far as like being a retired player. I mean, he's still kind of. Go ahead.
A quick point to that. I just want to point out that Vrabel is only 50 years old, and Josh McDaniels is only 49. And I don't think we're going to see Josh McDaniels take another head coaching job in a
No, not after what happened to him.
He doesn't need to.
Now you
Wait a minute. Who the fuck is going to give him a head coaching job?
But hold up. But that's my point though. You have Mike Vrabel, you have Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin, Josh McDaniels, and Drake May in the infancy of this, and you have a rare situation where the coordinator probably isn't going to go anywhere. You could have another 15-year run where these three are at the head of this franchise.
Yes, and that's where Josh and Josh McDaniels should stay as the OC in New England. And besides, this also validates, Chad, what I've been saying all along about Mac Jones. New England, when Bill Belichick, when they had him in the second year, and then some, who was their offensive coordinators after Josh McDaniels?
I don't want to talk about
Patricia, the pencil man.
I don't know.
No, Flash, I understand that to your point, but it validates the coaching. and why they had to move on from Belichick at one
Oh,
point.
I agree.
So very bull.
Yeah.
And it also validates that Mac Jones isn't as bad as a quarterback as people thought.
No, I agree. No, I'm with you 110%. I was on the get rid of Belichick bandwagon. I was done. I was like, we're getting ridiculous now. We're just randomly, now we're and don't get me wrong. I think his son's actually a decent football coach, but now we're just putting we're putting people in places and doing stupid shit. Just I was starting to go out on the Belichick train when he benched Malcolm Butler in Super Bowl. That was my moment of where, like, I don't know if he's fit. Like he's become too stupid and too arrogant to become to be a quality football coach. When you are literally in a, and we still to this day don't know what Malcolm Butler did to warrant your number one corner being benched in the Super Bowl, in a Super Bowl with no defense, and all you needed was one stop.
And Nick Foles played just as well in that Super Bowl as Tom Brady and won.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I that was one of my moments where I was like, now you are cutting off your nose to spite your face, and I was starting to go like, I don't know if he should be the coach for much longer. So, and then when they signed Cam, and now did that whole thing, and then the Vrabel and bringing in Mike Judge, and I was just like, okay, we're done here. Like, this is, I didn't like the Mayo pick, but I was done with Belichick.
Flash, I got to be honest with you. The writing on the wall with Belichick was perhaps, wasn't it true that Bill Belichick wanted to move on from Brady and go forward with Garoppolo? And then
Yes.
Robert Kraft ultimately got involved and said Tom Brady's going to stay as long as he wants. Trade Garoppolo.
Yes, but at the time, though, you have to remember this is pre the fourth ring. Jimmy G looks great. Tom Brady is not, he's still Tom Brady, but that makes football sense in the moment. Nobody would have predicted that Brady was going to win another fucking 4 Super Bowls and then play till at an MVP level until he was 45 years old. And the only reason he's still not playing to this day is that
lady.
What?
No.
That lady.
That lady. That's the only reason. It's the only reason he's still not whipping that ass out here in the in the NFL right now is because of that
lady.
I thought they were divorced.
What?
I thought they were divorced.
No, last year he retired and then unretired, and then he left training camp because he found out that it.
Yeah, I know that. That I know.
He found out the trainer was playing baseball at his house in the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah.
Well, after all, you invited Antonio Brown over to your place. You said it yourself, Chip. You couldn't even let him have a tent outside of your own place.
Yeah, no.
Too many cleanup hitters.
Yeah. You can't.
I mean, I'm just, they always say the most important decision a man's ever going to make is who you marry. And anyways,
found out the person trainer was playing baseball in his house, so yeah, that's what happened.
But yeah, and then you got you got that lady. Anyways, so yeah, I just think I think that at the time, football decision wise, that made sense. You have a second round quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo. Brady is getting closer to 40. We have never seen a quarterback play beyond 40 well, really. You had Favre, play at 40 real well, but then it was you had other guys that play like 38, like Warren Moon played okay at 40, 41. And then, so at the time it made sense football wise to be like, well, we can still get something for Tom Brady and trade him to, I think it was the 49ers, trade him to the 49ers and get a first or, 2 firsts or a first and a second and get something out of him. Or Belichick would have been dumb and probably like, I would like a 4th and a 3rd string safety from Rutgers. And then I think it's a good deal, but whatever. So I think at the time it looks good. looking back on it, it looks really stupid. But I don't think any of us, if you're willing to admit that, including me, who like is literally wears Tom Brady stuff every day. There is not a day that goes by that I do not at least have Brady brand underwear on or something. Like, I'm not joking. So even me at the time was like, the smart football move is to move on.
I think
Obviously, that was not the smart football move. But
I, I
again,
I think Brady was fueled and motivated because of Deflategate and also to Max Kellerman. Remember when he was on
oh
First
yeah,
Take and he said
He was
Tom
gonna
Brady
fall.
will be a bum in short order. He's gonna fall off the cliff. And then he brought up a lot of other players, particularly Peyton Manning, but Peyton Manning was coming off 4 neck surgeries. And then he brought up Derek Jeter. Tom Brady, the only injury that he had that was catastrophic was the ACL injury in 2008, which to me, that wasn't that big of a concern because Brady was never known for having the greatest athleticism or mobility. He's known for just picking you apart in the pocket.
Yeah.
But with New England, it's great because now you can move on. You can build your own dynasty with a young quarterback. To your point, BRF, Will Campbell is a freak, especially how the way he blocks, whether pass or the run block. I told you, champ, about Christian Gonzalez, that corner. That's somebody that Washington could have drafted, and unfortunately for us, we drafted Emmanuel Forbes. So my thing is with New England, you have the right type of future. So I think for Buffalo, and it's disappointing for Buffalo because they should have done exactly what they did yesterday to the Steelers, which is what Champ has been saying all along. Let James cook.
yeah.
Yep. Anything you would like to add, BRF? And if you're in the audience, please like and subscribe, man. We'd love to have you here with us. We're grateful to have you here with us. Like and subscribe if you're in the chat.
Now, now to defend Emmanuel Forbes, it almost seemed like he just needed a change of scenery because he got to the Rams and he's just balled out this year. So I don't know what the heck going on there. But
Sean McVay and coaching.
stability. Yeah, it's pretty much having that stability coaching. And like I said, I don't know. Maybe it's just the scheme. It's a better scheme for his style of play. I don't know, but whatever it is, he's taking off with the being with the Rams now. But I just speaking on the Patriots, like I just want to say that man, but yeah, like I said, I was kind of getting into it. I was kind of getting into it like earlier, just like I just felt like I felt like when when it was announced that they were hiring Mike Vrabel, I've just felt like it was the perfect move. I mean, like I said, he wasn't that long fresh off retirement, so he's still a young dude. He could still relate a lot to the young players, like getting through to them as far as like the engagement and just being around them and just kind of just that leadership that this generation of player looks for. I felt like Mike Vrabel could bring that with the Patriots, and you just see it. It's like you could tell when you have a team and they have players and those players are just willing to run through a wall for their coach. And it's pretty much the effect that you see with the New England Patriots. And they're taking on the image of their head coach out on that football field week in and week out. Whether it's on the offensive side or on the defensive side of the ball, they are a gritty young team. They're well coached. They're disciplined. They don't make a lot of mistakes. If they do make a mistake, they're able to correct it, come back. They kind of brush it to the side like it. Okay, this happened then. How do we fix that? How do we correct that on the next series? And they go out and they do it. And you're just seeing growth with them week in and week out, which is why I feel like with the New England Patriots, this has just been one of those funky NFL years where it's just like a lot of things you expected to happen didn't happen. Like you're seeing a team like the New England Patriots throw themselves back into the Super Bowl mix. You're seeing a team like the Carolina Panthers 7-5 and have a legit shot to win the NFC South. Um, it's just so many things that have happened this year in the league. You gotta there's would it out. This is what I'll say. Would it shock me the way the New England Patriots are playing right now? Would it shock me if they made the AFC title game? Would not shock me at all. It wouldn't shock me at all. Um, I feel like they would beat, as far as the AFC teams are concerned. I think right now the New England Patriots are that team that I would probably pick right now, like on a neutral field or just in a big game environment. I trust them more than any other team in the AFC, and that includes Buffalo, that includes Baltimore. Right now, that includes Kansas City because they don't know where they're going right now. I mean, you see Indianapolis, they've been struggling the last like 3 or 4 weeks as of late. Right now, New England is the team right now in the AFC I trust the most to go out in a big game situation and make the necessary plays they need to make in order to win and to advance and to get to where they want to go. Right now, I just trust them in the AFC right now more than any other team. I think
outside of
I
Houston.
think well, yeah. I mean, well. The thing is with what even and even with a team like Houston, their defense is just if there's any unit that could go on a run and like really just wipe out teams that they have no business competing with and beating, the Houston Texans have the type of defensive unit that can travel and just beat any body that you put in front of them. If they get anything out of CJ Stroud in that offense, if they can get better and get a little more consistent, the Houston Texans scare me as far as like a dark horse because that defense with Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter and Kamari Lassiter, Derek Stingley, just all those boys on that defense, the Houston Texans on defense scare me more than just about any other individual unit in all of football just because of the dominance and just is like they're just they're I think they're arguably the most frightening unit in terms of teams that have a shot as far as like the AFC playoffs. They scare the daylights out of me as far as what they can do to anybody you put in front of them.
Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna end it off on this note. PSP, you got anything you want to add?
Just give Bryce Young his due. Bryce Young may not be the best flashy quarterback in the world, but he's showing promise.
Yes, indeed.
And I think, look, do we still need to see a lot more from Bryce Young as time goes on? Certainly, yes. But at the same time, when you see someone who's making improvements and who's getting better and taking strides, I do think it's incumbent upon us to acknowledge that. Because we see other quarterbacks that are in multiple years and still haven't done much.
Okay. I will have to agree with you there, man. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're viewing right now. We love to have you, man. We try to bring y'all the greatest entertainment that we can every single week. I do have one question, man. It's the holiday season, real quick, man. Look, just real quick, man. Just real quick. What was the Christmas present you was most excited to get as a child? Like real quick. I have to
Hmm.
I have to say the PS1, man. When the PS1 first came out, man, in order to just see, I had to blow in them damn cartridges no more. Uh, I had the CDs in there. I was cleaning the CDs every single day, making sure they stayed in the case and stuff like that. I think the PlayStation One. And look, when I got my first Super Nintendo, man, that was cool, man. Playing Mario all day, man. And this time of year is always for the good, man. I remember me and remember we had some traditions, man. On the first day of December, we used to bake cookies in order to start off. Used to bake cookies and eat marshmallows and stuff in order to start it off. But I really think, man, you know, plus playing NBA Live back in the day before 2K, before the 2K craze, before back when NBA Live meant something, that was something to behold as well, man. Look, Christmas comes but once a year, but I was very excited to get that PS1, man. That PS1, man. I know the graphics don't hold up necessarily now, but back then, back in the 90s, you seeing games that you only played in arcade at home. That was epic. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would definitely say like But well, before I could go out and like buy the systems myself, definitely the first couple of PlayStations, the PS1 and the two, particularly the two, when it came out that the PS2 was going to be backwards compatible, being able to play the old PlayStation 1 games, I was hyped. I was hyped. I was excited because I knew I wouldn't have to get rid of my old PlayStation games. I could just play them in the PS2. Oh, I was excited. I was excited. Um throw something out there that's not necessarily a game. Like I used to love like remote control cars growing up. I love remote control cars. And there was one that was made like back in the like early 90s. Y'all you might remember this. It was the Scorcher 6x6 car.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Oh my god, that's probably one of the few toys that I was just like I could have jumped to the moon when I saw that under the tree. I was like, oh my gosh. I went outside with that thing and I ran that sucker down my driveway as much as I could until it couldn't go no more. I had so much fun. And the coolest thing about it is it had the little spin mechanism on the remote where you could just put it in the middle and you just watch it spin. I was like, dude, I was like a kid in the candy store. I was, a little- I was like a little kid in the candy store driving that thing around. But yeah, those are probably the two that I got the most hype for as far as Christmas was the PlayStation 2 and then the Scorcher car. Those are probably the two gifts that I got the most hype for when it came to Christmas.
Okay. PSP. Besides the sugar free house rollers, what was your favorite gift on Christmas?
Lord have mercy. Pair of Air Jordans. Pair of Jordans. Pair of
Okay.
Jordans. Ain't nothing better than getting you the Retro 7 Jordans.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
man.
sounds nice.
Yep.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I miss the old days of Christmas, man. Before Christmas had its own like. We knew it was the Lord's birthday. It was about Jesus. We knew it was about that, but it was something about after Thanksgiving that was just you knew it was coming.
Hmm.
And probably because we're the adults now and we gotta plan all the shit now, but and I'm not as good as a planner as my mom and my dad was. I'm not going over everybody's house on Christmas. They just see what the hell you got. We can FaceTime and stuff like that. I blame us for some of the traditions that got lost. But when you saw the Christmas movies that were coming on, when you saw different Christmas lights. You would drive, man. I would drive around. My father and my mother would drive around for hours, man, just seeing different Christmas lights, man. Eating that old cheap ass McDonald's ice cream, that ice milk, what Dad used to call it. So ice milk. So that's what he used to call it. Then let's go get y'all some ice milk because the ice cream machine always broke. So that that's how come there's a running joke down here in Columbus. It was like, McDonald's, y'all must have got y'all taxes today, or y'all stimulus check, because y'all ice cream machine fixed. But yeah, man, it was such a Christmas was a happening back then. It wasn't necessarily just a holiday. It was a happening, and you saw and even look, I hate to bring religion into it, but even preaching was different back then. You saw, the preachers being involved with Christmas. You saw the community centers being involved with Christmas a hell of a lot more than you see now. It was like I said, Christmas was a happening. They made sure that the underprivileged kids got what they needed to have. It was so good. One of the highlights of Christmas that I think I had is I saw a pastor from one of the churches that I used to go to. I saw him buy one of the kids down the street from me a PlayStation.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, he bought. Well, not only that, he bought by several kids a PlayStation. He bought several kids a PlayStation. He was like, shit, if we're not gonna have this in the church where some have more than others, yeah, he bought them kids a damn PlayStation. They would and be
Shaka Claus.
yeah. So yeah, he bought them kids a PlayStation, and the hood celebrities that used to come around and give away bikes and all types of shit. So Christmas was a happening back then versus now, where it's kind of like you kind of go through the motion and it's the end of the year. But back then, when we was growing up, Christmas was a happening. It's like, it's just like you're anticipating what you're gonna get on Christmas Day, man. You look up on them Christmas presents every single year. You know damn well not to go into them damn presents, but to like, I wonder what that is. I wonder what that is. It was a happening back then. Like I said, after Thanksgiving sales. And look, man, I never forget, man, you used to go into the malls and play the video games all day long. They used to have them lined up at Toys R Us. Used to have them lined up at the mall. Used to have them lined up everywhere. Give you and back then they would give you a chance to ride the bike in the mall and stuff like that. They used to sell stuff half off, little cookies half off. They had little street vendors in the malls and stuff. Those were the days back then. I don't think we'll ever experience that type of happening as far as Christmas again, to be honest with you. But what says y'all, man?
Man, doesn't matter if Christmas, whether you're home or elsewhere, as long as you with family and friends that you're with,
Yeah.
it's all that really matters. I mean, there are some people spending Christmases on their own. Some people who unfortunate out in the street barely eating. So just like I said before, in the words of Robin Williams, everyone you meet is battling something you know nothing about. So always be kind and just try to be fortunate because there are some people who have it worse than you. You don't
Yes.
know.
Yes, indeed, man. And look, let me send a special shout out. Thank you for Sports PSP, first of all, for joining us, man. You always have a home here on the Undisputed GOAT podcast.
D also says hello as well.
D, hello. Good to hear from you.
Mhm.
Also, want to spend a special shout out to my main man, Joe, the ghost from TikTok, one of my day ones. Like I stated on Sports PSP's podcast last night, the guy was one of my day ones. There was a little bit of a rivalry because he was a Florida Gator and I was a Georgia fan. And every time we used to play each other, I used to get a call or a text or an inbox saying, good luck, Georgia boy. And Ghost was a Florida alumnus, by the way. So he used to talk to me a lot about how NIL changed the game. He remembered how it used to be $100 handshakes and stuff like that. So I got a lot of inside information when it came to Ghost, man. I got a lot of how college football used to work from a blue chip player who was playing in college football. That's what I got from him. A lot of education because it's one thing when you hear it on television. It's one thing when a guy who lived it tells you that. He was telling me about the shoe boxes of money and the shoes and the suits and stuff like that. So Ghost would share a lot of different things with me about how college was in his days and how it has changed. And I'll never forget TikTok was about to quote unquote die, and I told him I was about to quit. And, like I said on PSP's podcast last night, I told him and PSP I was about to quit. I'm not doing content anymore. And both of them was like hell you are. You're not quitting. I'm like, there's no point. We had a run, let's just quit. It was like, nah, man, the world, you need to keep going, man. You work hard, you need to keep going. And the same thing but Ghost, PSP, BRF, Flash, those when I first started making content, y'all were my day ones. I will never forget y'all. And unfortunately, Ghost, Joe, Florida Gator, he lost an ongoing battle that he was going through. And man, but yeah, brother, I salute you. You touched a lot of people, and I hope that Ghost's story is a lesson. It ain't about how many damn followers that you have. It's not about how many followers that you have. It's about the impact that you have on people. It's about the impact that you have on people. Because when Ghost would go live and do his thing, when Ghost would go live and play his music and do different things and have different music playing at the beginning of the day, I used to open up my TikTok in the morning after I would say my prayers and go straight to his page to see what song he's gonna play today. So, Joe, brother, thank you. I will not say rest in peace. I will say thank you because the impact that you made, not just on myself, but a lot of other people was felt. So we will not say rest in peace. We will say thank you for what you have done. And I know that you are still alive with the band upstairs. I know that you are still alive. So we will want, the only thing that's gone is your physical form, brother. And I thank you for everything. And I thank you for the impact that you have on me. And I will still be, I know your wife Christina still posts old videos of you. I will be making sure to repost every chance I get. And I will be liking those videos every chance I get. So it's Joe, from a Georgia Bulldog to a Florida Gator. I do a special salute to you. And I thank you, bro. I appreciate it. So big shout out to the Ghost, man. Words cannot explain what you meant to me and me being on TikTok, because even when I ran out of ideas, you were always there to kind of bring me back. Because it wasn't just one time where I thought about quitting. There was a lot of times where I'm like, I don't want to do this shit no more. But, you know, having the great people that I have around me, especially Ghost, PSP, Flash, BRF, y'all wing me back in. And Ghost was one of those ones, man. And like I stated, it's not about the amount of followers that you have. It's about the impact that you have. You can have 10 followers, but if you impact all 10 of those people, then you've made your impact. People don't realize how, I'm gonna end it on this. People don't realize how much 100 people really are, or 1,000 people really is, until you're sitting in the room with them. And with Ghost and how he used to do his TikToks and stuff like that, it was as if you were sitting in the room with him, listening to that music.
Mm.
So that's the thing. So it ain't about the amount of followers that you have; it's the amount of the impact that you make. So on that note, I will end it all. Ghost, holla at your boy. We miss you, brother. Thank you.